Today, I am going to be asking questions of Archangel Metatron. As Apollo, I was the god of knowledge because this was always my main interest. Even later, when I became Enoch, I was a prophet and a scribe. And as my role as Archangel, I keep the book of records, the Akashic Records that are the records of Earth. And the fear of death is simply not something worth having.
Hello, lovely souls. Welcome to Becoming Awesome with Tracy J, channeling Archangel Metatron.
Welcome, everyone. Today, I am going to be asking questions of Archangel Metatron. Now, some of you may have heard the recording I did with Saint Brigitte or Angel Brigitte, and she's the one who actually pointed out that it was not only her that had an incarnation as, first a goddess and then a saint and then an angel, but also Archangel Metatron was originally the god Apollo, and later was Enoch, the prophet and scribe. And when he passed out of that physical human body, he was immediately taken up to the seventh heaven and became Archangel Metatron. So I'm going to be asking him a lot of questions about that whole transition. And he has already shared with me that he is going to be giving you a transmission at the end for the wisdom beyond knowledge, right? Some kind of core energetic of like deep understanding of kind of all that is. So I'm very excited about that. So please stay tuned to the end for that. So, my first question for Metatron, and by the way, as you think of questions, this is my first question and answer with Metatron. Below, please leave in the comments any questions you would like me to ask him in future Q&As, as well as anything you'd like others to share. If you have a relationship to Archangel Metatron, how he assists you in your life. And you could also leave questions you hope I will ask of other archangels or types of spiritual beings. So let's get started. Metatron, welcome here. I am so grateful. Every time I feel your energy, well, it's obviously like incredible blast of light as it is with all the archangels, but I feel also this incredible like energetic coming from the crown through all other chakras, but then really blasting into my heart. When I connect with you, it's just like this source heart kind of thing going on, and it's very beautiful. So you probably already know I was talking about how amazing I found your journey to be when I was talking to Saint Brigitte. And so please share with us more about just how it could be that you started as a god, became a human, and then became an archangel, and anything else we need to know in terms of background about how the divine source created this ability for our helpers to move through different realms, much as he did with, sending Jesus, as a god in a human body. But, your unique take and understanding of it too. Thank you. I believe to get to the heart of your question, I must go very far back to begin my answer. I don't really know if you could explain it in terms of any sense of time in the absolute reality, but let's just say, in the very, very beginning, Source flung out, created space, and within that space placed the building blocks of life, as your scientists have already discovered. At least what you could within your solar system, that many of the elements on many of the planets are the same, and even what is in space dust are the same basic building blocks. And there was very much an intent on the part of Source God to allow creation to come into itself through the free will that it was given, and through the dynamic of the differences in how these building blocks got used. And so, over very, very long periods of time, planets were formed, galaxies were formed. But there was an assistance on the part of Source God to accelerate the coming into being of a number of planets, because Source God had the wisdom to know that there would need to be guidance, likely along the way, as the different formations occurred on the different planets, with this possibility of free will, all that is. And so there was a creation of a planet and several planets, and that the beings on those planets were shepherded pretty quickly into higher and higher states of consciousness, and then the ability to be a consciousness in the etheric realm. And so my journey becoming the god Apollo started after I had achieved that level of consciousness and ability to be an etheric being. And I did this with other planetary systems as well, but we will just use yours as an example. And so when I came to Earth, it was a place of much fear and uncertainty, and much of the focus was on survival. A very small amount of time or energy to go into connecting to the spiritual realm. And also, sometimes in that true simplicity, many developing that ability to feel spirit and guidance. And those that were able early on became those who we gifted with ideas of stories about gods and goddesses to assist those who were living in starting to have at least a beginning understanding that there could be something greater than just the human body and what its limitations were. And so the stories were produced. And as Apollo, I was the god of knowledge, because this was always my main interest, right? Even later when I became Enoch, I was a prophet and a scribe. And as my role as Archangel, I keep the book of records, the Akashic Records that are the records of Earth. And so, yes, I have very much loved knowledge, but more so wisdom. And because knowledge often leads to wisdom, I love knowledge. And so we began, not just myself, but many other consciousnesses came to various different planets and seeded the ideas of stories, and for artists to paint things, and for sculptors to sculpt things that helped elevate what the human mind could imagine to be possible. And through these expansions, many were able to start connecting more to this greater energetic frequency that is Source God. So when I incarnated as Enoch, I was gifted, much like Christ, to not have the complete memory wipe and start from scratch. And I also had assistance from the other side, those who stayed in the etheric realm, who were assigned to me, so that during my growing up period, and even those who were my parents, were part of the plan for me to come and do what I did and to raise me well, and for them also to have helpers from the other side, so that I was able to be human, but a much more advanced level of consciousness than most humans at that time. So that was my life story as Enoch. And one of the things I was gifted was a book of wisdom from one of the other archangels. And so that also propelled my ability to share a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, and then the wisdom that followed with humanity. And because I was both a human and kind of this higher level of consciousness, I had great, great compassion for humanity. And I still do to this day. I understand that the dynamics of being a human and having a lower mind and starting fresh each time is very, very difficult. And so I have a particular love for this planet, having lived on it. And I love being of service to humans. I would tell you another thing about Earth specifically. So some planets were left completely just to develop naturally, exactly as they would be. Others, there was a blending. And Earth was honestly an experiment where it was seeded with many possible paths for people to pursue. So there was the path of love, taught by Jesus, Kuan Yin, Buddha, many others, right? That the highest thing you can do as a human is to express love and to forgive others. There was also what could be an attraction to vengeance, right? Jehovah, the God of Moses, Nemesis in the Greek. She was a goddess. Many were very attracted to that, or just out of their fear would operate out of trying to do anything to avoid a god being vengeful towards them. Oriac. There were many, many others. That was a demon that gained a lot of traction on Earth for a while. And then there was the option of the devil, right? Or the Antichrist. Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, many out throughout history. And many humans chose to spend a lot of time and energy on that, thinking that Satan was the more powerful creator, and just devoting a lot of their attention there. So the experiment was, and I would say a last category actually would be that of mind and materialism, right? That humans could see, are we just going to stay forever engaged with our lower mind and our, letting our hormones and our thoughts run us and our attraction to gaining material things? And certain branches of the Anunnaki came in and seeded humans for that kind of consciousness. What the agreement was that the planet would be seeded with the possibilities and left to see what would come out of it. Now, some chose to break that agreement because they just got invested and wanted to see whatever, Satan win or materialism win or whatever it was. And so they came in and, gave technologies that were not supposed to be given, advantages to whoever they felt were seated with what they wanted to see when in other ways. And so because of that, in order to return to the original experiment, there are many, many, many helpers assigned to Earth to be assisting in taking down what was not meant to be part of the experiment. I feel confident in telling you that part of the reason there was interference was it was clear that most were going to be drawn to love eventually as they incarnated more and more times. There was always a moving away from whatever they might have been in previous lifetimes attracted to, and more moving into love and to connection to spirit. And so this is a very exciting time to be participating with humans on Earth. And I am so grateful to have been asked here so that I can answer these kinds of questions. I will pause. Okay, I got the sense that I got from him is he was going to let me ask another question. So I am curious about your name, Metatron. There's so many that end in L, Ezekiel and Ariel and all this, and you are Metatron. And I know you received that name long before there were popular movies with cars that turn into robots, with names such as that. And so I'm just curious as to why you were given this name. What is its meaning? There are many meanings to this, but part of it was wanting to acknowledge the path that I chose through being the different layers. In the Greek, meta means several different prefixes, but also above. And tron is a reference to a tool, something that can be used as a tool. And when I came in as Enoch, I feel my major purpose was to be a tool for knowledge and wisdom beyond the 3D reality of Earth. And so I felt this name suited me, as did Source God. And we wanted the names of those of us who had gone through this different pathway of being many things before being archangels to be recognized through a difference in our names. That is all I can say on that. Okay, my next question will be, since you have had the experience of having been a human, even if you were gifted not having the complete memory wipe, you nevertheless experienced having a body and a mind and all that. And so because of that experience, what do you feel are the greatest gifts you can offer if we call upon you? How should we ask you to help us because of this experience? There are many ways I wish to help, but I think, yes, for today we will pick a few. So one of the things I noticed was there when I was incarnated, and is still there, is a lot of preoccupation and fear about death. Humans spending an inordinate amount of time trying to avoid death. And we just wish you to understand that your soul chooses the time of your death when you incarnate. So all the efforting at trying to prolong or do this or that really does not matter. And the fear of death is simply not something worth having. I know these words will not necessarily make you stop, but for those of you who have not done so, listen to the accounts of those who have had near-death experiences. It is always stunning for them. Your source God, if you are in what will be a fatal accident for you, takes your consciousness out before you go through that worst part of it, so that you are not even experiencing. And immediately you are connected back into the all that is. And so you are not even feeling what it is that is happening to your physical body if you are dying because of an accident. There is sometimes some suffering when there is illness prior, but again, you have chosen this. And it is often that suffering that creates for someone who had an entire life of not connecting to the divine at any level to finally connect. And then in the knowing that they do have a connection to divine, can relax into whatever the ailment is and no longer be afraid of the possibility of death. And so if you are someone who is afraid of death, we encourage you to ask us to assist you in releasing that out of your field. It is a waste of your time and energy. The other thing we would say is, because we know what it is like to be a human and to have so many possibilities of ending up with bad habits or being attracted to things that aren't necessarily in our highest good and all that, I am a very good angel to call on when you wish to break a bad habit, or when you wish to rise up out of an old pattern that you have been stuck in for a long time and find your way into a better pattern. We are very happy to help with this. We have a special love for children who are challenged by any sort of difficulty, really. And so call upon us if your children have need of my special help for them. Ask for my guidance, knowledge, wisdom about how to help them in the way that is best suited for them. We will say that for today. And we hope very much to be invited back again, and that your viewers have many more questions for me. Until then, we surround you in our light and love, our wings always available to use to lift yourselves up. You are most precious, and we look forward to talking with you again. We will now go into the transmission. This is a transmission that helps you integrate directly from Source all that is, the wisdom that you are needing for your understanding in this Earth timeline moment that you are in. This will be unique to each expression of you who is watching, since you each uniquely need your wisdom to be different for where you are in this particular place in your life. So we welcome you to get as comfortable as possible, to pause this if you are driving and wait until later. And just know that the transmission will continue whether I am speaking, making sounds, or no. The energetic vibration is coming to you across whatever kind of airwaves you are listening to this. Here we go. We are sending out a specific vibration to open you to the transmission. Allow your physical bodies to respond to these wavelengths any way it wishes. Do not be afraid if you perceive of the channel Tracy shaking as she experiences this. Allow your own authentic expression to be available. And now we are sending you a vortex of energy, which will begin right at the core, inside your spine, and expand outward from there. And its purpose is that it is extending your energy body farther out from your physical body than you normally allow it to be. This greater field, including each of your chakras expanding further as there's a bigger energetic field for them to expand into, allows the energetic antenna to begin downloading all of the knowledge and wisdom I am making available. And each of your antennae will draw into you whatever it is you are needing in this moment. Yes. Allow your breathing to deepen. Feel your lungs expanding behind, reaching further down with each breath, further to the sides, further forward. The antenna will be drawing in through your energetic field and also through the air you are breathing, dispersing throughout your circulatory system, into your nervous system, into your lymphatic system, Notice I did not say into your brain. Certainly not first, or even the mind, which is actually located in the consciousness of each one of your cells, not in the brain only. Good. You are much softer and more open now. If you are having a specific question you would like answered for yourself, ask it within your heart with great passion, and then release it into your energy body, allowing the antenna of your energy body to specifically download the answer to your question. Could be need of understanding of a certain area of knowledge. Yes, you are doing a wonderful job. You can use this transmission as many times as you wish, as many times as you feel inspired to do so. Each time bringing new desires for knowledge or wisdom, and each time being responded to differently. We do so admire all of you. Such a lovely interception between the physical being on your earthly plane and the spark of God that you each are in your own unique way. We are so honored to have been here with you. Okay, really hard coming back from that. Thank you. So grateful to you for showing up, for sharing, forwarding, liking, and for commenting on anything you noticed for yourself, either in how you felt you expanded from the sharing that Metatron did, or from the transmission. All of it is welcome. Thank you for leaving us comments. We really enjoy seeing them. All right, many blessings to you until next time.